There is a man who influences entire industries. But if you searched his name, you would find nothing. No interviews, no podcasts, no social media presence, no headlines. And that's intentional, because power that hides is harder to attack. Most people think influence looks loud. They picture CEOs on magazine covers, founders on conference stages, billionaires tweeting opinions, but the real architects of markets rarely appear in public. They don't need visibility. They need leverage. Let me explain something critical. There are two types of wealth: visible wealth and structural wealth. Visible wealth is what you see: luxury assets, recognition, brand presence. Structural wealth is what you don't see: equity positions, board control, voting rights, silent partnerships, debt leverage. The man who controlled the market never needed to be famous. He needed influence. He built it quietly. Instead of launching companies, he bought into them. Instead of being the face, he funded the face. Instead of competing for spotlight, he negotiated for control clauses. He studied contracts more than headlines. Because the real power in any company is not the title. It's the terms. Board seats, preferred shares, liquidation preferences, voting thresholds. These are invisible weapons, and he mastered them. While entrepreneurs chased valuation, he chased influence. He didn't want 100% ownership. He wanted decisive control. There's a difference. Owning everything means carrying everything. Controlling something means directing everything. He spread his positions across industries: logistics, real estate, energy, manufacturing, private equity. Small percentages in each. But each percentage came with leverage. He positioned himself where decisions were made, not where applause happened. That's why no one knew his name. Because being unknown was protection. Public figures face scrutiny. Invisible figures move freely. When a company struggled, he negotiated favorable restructuring. When a competitor failed, he absorbed assets. When markets dipped, he accumulated silently. And because he wasn't public, no one tracked his movements. This is how markets are quietly controlled. Not through noise, through positioning. Here's something most people misunderstand. Control does not require majority ownership. It requires influence at the right moments. If you hold 18% but control board alignment, you control direction. If you structure debt correctly, you control outcomes. If you understand timing, you control opportunity. He didn't build brands. He built pressure points. And pressure points are power. Over time, industries shifted. Companies merged. Executives changed. Strategies pivoted. But one thing remained constant: his signature. Not publicly, but contractually. You see, real wealth is not emotional. It's strategic. He didn't care about ego. He cared about structure. He didn't chase trends. He studied cycles. And when cycles repeated, he was prepared. This is the difference between someone who participates in markets and someone who quietly shapes them. Most people trade. A few people steer. He steered from behind the curtain. Because the less people know your position, the harder it is to counter you. That is hidden fortune. Influence without exposure. Control without recognition. Power without noise. So the next time you see a famous CEO, ask yourself, who owns him? Because the most powerful person in the room is often not the one speaking. It's the one who doesn't need to. If you want to understand how real influence is engineered quietly, subscribe. The next story reveals how old money families structure ownership so their power survives generations without ever appearing in public. And once you see that system, you'll never look at markets the same way again. The man reveled in the stealth of his operations, orchestrating decisions in the shadows. His networks ran deep, intertwined with influential figures who might never know the extent of his involvement. With every calculated move, he secured further control, often through connections rather than transactions, ensuring that he remained the unseen puppet master. While fresh entrepreneurs clamored for media attention, he smirked at their naivete, knowing true strength lay in the power to influence from obscurity. The illusion of noise floated away as he skillfully navigated market fluctuations, remaining silent yet ever vigilant, always spring-loaded for opportunity. Crafting an invisible empire required mastery over relationships and trust, a delicate balance of connection and discretion. The man didn't just align himself with powerful partners, he invested time in nurturing those alliances, creating bonds that facilitated his strategic plays. While others stretched themselves thin, vying for public accolades, he preferred the quiet assurance of loyalty. Each conversation was a chess move, every lunch meeting an opportunity for negotiation. Observing the market ebb and flow, he saw potential where others saw stagnation, ready to capitalize when the moment arose. It was a game of patience, always waiting for the perfect strike, the golden opportunity sitting just out of reach of those who craved the spotlight. As he surveyed the shifting landscapes of commerce, his mind was a whirlwind of possibilities, plotting trajectories that few could envision. The man understood that every downturn created hidden assets, and while others rushed to retreat, he stood firm, a steadfast anchor amidst chaos. With each passing moment, his network expanded, wrapping around the very tendencies of the industry, embracing change while remaining infallibly decisive. In that uncertainty, he was the calm center, forever prepared to seize opportunities that appeared transient, yet held the potential for